to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles, touchdown.
Here he goes. It's Hester. Inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown!
Hurts on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. Missed the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to The Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 70th installment of The Pigskin Project, in which we've got a little bit more news, actually, than the last couple weeks. But, obviously, we got to start it off the same way that we always do. Ben, how you doing this week, buddy?
I am doing very, very good. Very happy. I've been pretty busy this week, but this is the first full week that my girlfriend is back. The reason I look over here is because we live together, so I'm looking at her right now. So if you guys are wondering, but yeah, no, I'm just very excited. She's back for the first time in a month. I know I mentioned something about it on the podcast last week, so I'm just happy to have her back. Happy to have my cat back. You guys will probably see him jumping around at some point in the background of the video.
He might just throw Ben's computer off the desk. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very likely possibility. He'll just come over and swat it off the desk and then run away. But yes, it's good. How are you doing?
Chilling, man. Honestly, work's been pretty solid. Just kind of going through the motions at this point, waiting because in a couple weeks, I haven't really talked to you about this too much, actually, but I probably won't be on the podcast in 2 weeks. So I have Summerfest I will be going to. I will be going to a pretty massive, music festival. It's going to be awesome. Caitlin and I are going to be going, and we are looking forward to that a lot.
Yep. If we also, as far as the podcast in 3 weeks as well, we will actually probably have to do it that Thursday because me and Ryan are going to do something that Wednesday night.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we're going to do that Wednesday night. I will be on the road that Tuesday. So that Thursday, we will probably be doing the podcast then at that point. So yeah, just to Ryan's point, stick with us over it is for us at least summer vacation, and we have things we want to go out and do and things, so the dates that you guys are used to, I know we're doing it Thursday right now for those who are listening live, but the dates and times are going to be a little off, I know, for the next month, just because we are people too, and we do have things we do as well. So
yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and jump into our first segment here.
Ryan and Ben bring you weekly news.
So we do have a little bit more to talk about. First off, I just got to say, my @ on Twitter changed. So I had to kind of fill that in right now. But first off, I got to say, really quick before we get into weekly news, because when you asked me how I did, I completely forgot about probably the most important thing that happened this week. We started practice. It was awesome. This was my very first practice with the group and everything. I don't want to go into the specifics of what we worked on too deep, actually, but I was able to work with the corners for the first time because I'm the corners and running backs coach of the school, and it's a great group of kids, man. It really is. One of them said that he followed me on Twitter, and I had yet to follow him back, so he was insulted. And I was like, hey, man, my bad. So I went ahead and followed him back. And then later on in the day, I was sitting in the coach's office with the rest of the coaches, and that same kid was walking by with the quarterback and another couple receivers. And I said, hey, come over here. And he walked over. I said, hey, so you follow me on Twitter, right? And he said, yeah. I said, so do you listen to my podcast? And he goes, no, I didn't know that I said, that's a fake follower right there. I'm taking back
Fake
my follow.
follower.
Just kidding. All the support that we get from anybody who drops a follow on the podcast socials that are listed above our heads, we greatly appreciate, but it's all just in good fun. It's going to be a good start to the program. I mean, obviously it's a pretty historic program already, but the direction that it was headed before we came in was not a great one. 2 wins in 7 years is crazy. I mean, in high school ball, we're prepping to get that first win under our belts, and from there, it's progress from that point. So we're very excited. But yeah, it was a great first day of practice. I'll go into more detail probably with you off air about it, but it's going to be awesome. Anyways, so breaking into our first segment here, weekly news. So Josh Allen got the Madden cover, which I know that you feel very strongly about. So it's not a bad cover. Like, no, I know.
Well,
like,
show the other one.
Good.
Show the other one.
So
that's awful. I don't know how you're this like multi-billion-dollar game development company and
in
you
theory
can't even get your cover right.
Yeah, for everybody that hasn't seen it already, so this is actually a pretty cool idea of a cover. I'm a Bears fan, and I think that it would have been probably cooler if it was like a Lambeau Leap at that point, even because that's the concept of it, right?
Yeah.
But what people aren't looking at, I guess some people are, is this face mask and the editing that's going on in this face mask. So that's the big obstacle, I guess. So that's it. Super weird, but whatever. I'd like to go over the notes a little bit, just because I know that we already covered a lot of the features and stuff like that, but this is awesome. I can't wait. And they already released the beta to where certain players are starting to play it just a little bit, and some are impressed, some are not. I will say, I don't know about you, so like, okay, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for a second. I don't know about you, but when I watched that preview, I was not impressed with the graphics whatsoever.
Yeah,
that was horrible.
It was
just
rough.
looked great. Like, I mean, like, okay, first off, let me just say, and if you follow me on Twitter, you know this. So I posted a screenshot of the Patrick Mahomes throw, the infamous Patrick Mahomes throw on the Madden game, and I'm looking at my PS5 and taking in the fact that it's still intact, because a throw like that would make me just destroy it. Like, there's just no way that Patrick Mahomes will ever be able to make that throw. I believe that was an incomplete pass in the Super Bowl when he was doing it. And it's like, the way that they advertised for it was like, yeah, you can throw a 90-yard pass sideways with Patrick Mahomes. I understand if that's like maybe his X factor, but like, dude, he didn't complete that pass. It's crazy. Anyways, so basically, I'm just going to sum it up as fast as I can, just because people can really do a deep dive on it on EA's website if they want. I did a deep dive into it before. This whole segment right here is talking about how, so skill-based passing, you can use the analog sticks to pass if you want. If not, you can go with the original stuff. This is really good. I've used the skill-based passing, even though it's not for everybody else. But it's like it says, surgical accuracy. That's exactly what it's for. I could drop it into the pocket way easier. But that hit everything. Basically new animations for that. So foundational football, this is basically just talking about the confidence and stuff that your teammates will get down the road if more and more plays are starting to work. And so that's really good. It's showing different types of confidence boosters. So that's really cool that they're adding that. Basically, one of the biggest things is that crossplay, like we talked about, I think it was last episode, is coming to the next gen. So that's exciting. Superstar, the league. So basically, This is just another story mode. So exciting for that. From the combine to the draft pick to 99 overall, it says. So very exciting for that. Superstar Showdown, basically that's just a 3v3 matchup thing using your character, and that's online. So it's all right, Franchise mode. Now, this is the most exciting part. Fan favorite mini games are turning to Madden NFL 24. Basically, it's just to kind of get you better. A lot of people played the mini games in like the early 2000s Madden. I did from time to time, but not as much as the next guy. So to some people that might be cool. To me, it's not. Utilize a streamlined team relocation feature with new cities, logos, and uniforms to create your own franchise story. So that's exactly what we were talking about as far as customization goes for a new franchise. That's exciting. Build your future using free agency 2.0 by restructuring contracts and making counter offers to cornerstone playmakers. That's huge, especially if your team just decides to throw together horrible contracts. Let's see. Basically, new draft generators. So that's cool. Trade logic tuning. And this is what I'm excited for. 6 trade slots for trades in franchise mode, whereas previously it was only 4. I still don't think that this is enough. I think maybe up to 8 would be good.
I don't know how much of a deal, like 6 versus 4 versus 8. Like, if you need to throw in like a 7th round pick, like, I don't know.
I will say 6 is going to be nice to utilize because I know, for example, there's been trades to where it's like, oh man, I'm really close. And there's only like, this could be my best offer, or like, this is the best that I'm willing to offer. If I throw in an extra 7 that's going to get the job done, I just don't have an extra slot for it. So now this is going to be huge, especially just because it's franchise mode. This is a dream situation, where you get to control your own team. I'm going to trade for like Chase Young right off the bat. It's going to be awesome. Madden Ultimate Team didn't really change. They kind of kept that the same. So that's pretty good. And that's just about it. Pre-order information, basically, you get, I think it's like a little bit of pre-access to the game, like pre-release. So if you want to pre-order that, that's cool. But yeah, pre-order the deluxe edition, blah, blah, for a limited time, also known as player item offer. So if you're into Madden Ultimate Team, that's an offer you might want to take advantage of. So that's pretty exciting. As far as Madden as a whole, we're going to dive into it a little bit deeper in a future segment here today. What we're going to be covering, I know I already started the first segment, but weekly news, we're covering Falcons and then Saints. And then we're doing a little bit of a debate regarding the 99 club and who should be in it, who should not be in it. If you're not familiar, it's the 99 overalls in Madden. And then we had a conversation also saying, what would we rate the 2021 QB class in Madden 24? So that's going to be nice just because there is a little bit of controversy surrounding, like, for example, Zach Wilson and Trey Lance, even Mac Jones. I think the top 2 quarterbacks are kind of set in stone from that draft class. And then we're just going to play Weddle. So it's going to be all good. But anyways, back to weekly news.
Yes. Actually, a lot of news this week, too, involving like players being signed, players being cut. So
because it's
starting off the dead period. Nice.
Yeah, it's that post June 1st stuff. So teams are starting to save a little bit of money for that. But nonetheless, Dalvin Cook was released. That's a pretty big asset for the Vikings to lose. To some people, to me, that's watched Dalvin Cook for years. I think that Alexander Madison's going to do fine. I think that that's going to be a serviceable enough running back to where it's not going to be as big of a notice as people see. As a Dalvin Cook fantasy owner, this guy makes me really upset. So, like, good riddance to him in the NFC North. So, not really too big. I think he's generating interest from the Dolphins at the moment. I think he was in Miami today. But what's your take on this?
Yeah, my guess, even before this, like the last month, there's been like the rumors going out and about that like the Dolphins really like him, and that they're like this has been something that's been kind of viewed as something that was going to happen no matter what. It was just a matter of when it was going to happen. if it was going to happen. And like you said, I think it's I don't want to say like locked in, but I'm pretty confident that he's going to be a Dolphin. Again, that's what all the rumors have been pointing to over the last like month and a half. I think he's a Dolphin. And then in terms of Alexander Madison, like you said, I really don't think there's that much of a drop off between the two, and that might be wild to say for those who like watched Dalvin Cook 2 or 3 years ago. So you can see him right there in the corner. But that might be something like to be shocking if you haven't kept up with football. But the last few years, Dalvin Cook has been less than impressive. And that's why they felt it was okay to cut him, because Alexander Madison's going to be perfectly fine in that offense and is going to put up very similar numbers to what Dalvin Cook did. So
right. Next up, speaking of the Vikings. So Daniel Hunter is generating trade interest from several teams. I don't know where he's going to go, but this is still a pretty decent player that the Vikings are losing. And on that edge, that's kind of a big concern for them now. So I was having a conversation, right? Says, I don't know. You know what? I'll let you speak on Daniel Hunter really quick, and then I'll dive into that. But where do you think maybe is the best fit for him, or what do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Hunter left, because it's kind of been something that again has been talked about for like 2 or 3 years now at this point. And it's so tough because 3 or 4 years ago, like Daniel Hunter was one of the most dominant edges in all of football. But it just mattered for him not being able to stay healthy. And I just think it's like a new change of scenery is what he needs. But like you said, it's going to be really tough for the Vikings because, you're like, 3 months ago, you were like, well, you have Marcus Davenport, you have Zadarius Smith, you have Daniel Hunter, and now it looks like it might just be Marcus Davenport with the Zadarius Smith stuff happening, and
which is
now
not a great edge to only have.
No, exactly. Ask Saints fans, they know how it is when Marcus Davenport has to be the number one edge on their team. It doesn't turn out very well.
So, anyways, a coworker and I were talking about it today. Could the Vikings be almost tanking a little bit? The thing is, Kirk Cousins is a free agent next offseason, okay? Unless they give him an extension, which could very well happen. I'm not ruling that out. But Kirk Cousins, man, it's not – he's 34,
Yeah, they have to have another plan in place.
Exactly. And what I'm thinking is, next year's quarterback class is looking pretty solid.
Yes.
So at this point, if you can fall early teens, maybe top 10, you're in the spot to where you could maybe get a good quarterback out of that, or at least make a trade into that spot.
Yeah.
So maybe they're looking to trade down, or not trade down, but like fall down the draft board a little bit, be okay with that, because let's face it, this year's a pretty difficult schedule for them, and we'll get into the NFC North at some point in the near future, I'm sure. But just something to think about. Like, do you think that the Vikings could maybe think, like, could they be planning for life after Kirk Cousins?
They need to. It's kind of feel like they've been like that need/want has been there for 2 years now at this point. They really need to start figuring out what that plan is, because they do have a star wide receiver, and we'll get into that when we talk about Madden. But you don't want to like waste him with like a Baker Mayfield in 2 years. You don't want to waste him with, I don't know, a Teddy Bridgewater, which would be funny because of where he started. But like, you don't want to waste.
I'd be down for a reunion.
Bet you would.
Here's the thing though. I used to like actually root for Teddy Bridgewater. He was a fun quarterback to watch. But anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
Yes. But yeah, like you said, they just need to start figuring out a plan for life after Kirk Cousins. And if they were going to tank, this would be the year to do it, because it seems like there are like 2 really, really high-end quarterbacks And then there's always some guy who is viewed as a second or third rounder who always plays himself into that conversation as a top 10 pick. So safe to say there's probably going to be 3 quarterbacks going in the top 10. So they don't need to be the worst team in the NFL or the second worst team in the NFL. As long as they can get somewhat close to that point where a team is willing to trade back, it would be the smart thing to do. Go ahead and pair Justin Jefferson up with a young quarterback. No better weapon to do it than him.
And another thing that, people aren't talking about is the fact that you don't want Kirk Cousins to eat up the cap space that you need for Justin Jefferson. I mean, would you rather have a 34, 35-year-old quarterback that's subpar, or would you rather have an all-out generational talent in Justin Jefferson?
And I see where you're coming from that standpoint, but there's nothing like the Kirk Cousins contract will not hinder their ability to do Justin Jefferson. They're not gonna not pay Justin Jefferson because they have Kirk Cousins. So I will push back a little bit on that, because if you're the Vikings, you do whatever it takes to keep this man in your building. Pay him $25 million right now. I think that's what they need to do. So.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, and then the last point that I have, and this isn't necessarily new news, but the Commanders are open to listening for trade requests for Chase Young. It's going to be a little interesting just to find out what happens here, just because it's like, at this point, what are the Vikings thinking? Maybe it's like, no, you can't think that. It's probably not going to be the Vikings, but I'm thinking like Daniel Hunter for Chase Young in a draft pick. Like, that would be interesting. A little bit of a lateral trade, but I don't know. I don't know. It's the NFL. Anything could happen. But obviously, I'd love my Bears to get him. I mean, it's, but also, the cap situation. So his 5th year wasn't picked up by the Commanders. It could be picked up by another team had he been traded, or if he's traded. I looked into that just because I was like, I'm not too sure about that. Like, if another team can pick up his 5th year option, technically he's still on a rookie deal, so that is possible. So the problem with that being, I believe Justin Fields' contract extension would be looming after this season or next. So it's like, at that point, Chase Young, that's another body, and looking at the players that we have to extend to, that's maybe an obstacle. But I mean, there's more than just those 2 teams that need an edge rusher too. And there's plenty of interest from fans on Chase Young. His career's not dead, despite the fact that he's had a lot of injury history. But this guy, when healthy, is an all-pro. This guy is a Pro Bowler. It's just that one fine point of, can he stay healthy? That's the biggest point.
Yeah. It'd be fun to see the Ohio State boys team up again there. As somebody who's a Big Ten fan, it was tough going through. I think there's only 1 year of overlap there, but of Chase Young on defense and then having to turn around and having to stop Justin Fields on offense. That was
it was so much fun to be on that side.
Oh, I bet it was.
Anyways, so that's gonna do it for weekly news. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, real quick, just some signings too. I forgot where he signed. Leonard Floyd signed somewhere, and I'm blanking on where he signed.
I feel like I should know this too.
I know.
The Bills.
Leonard Floyd, where?
The Bills. Wait a second.
Yes.
Didn't we talk about that too?
No.
I thought that I said something about an edge rusher learning. Oh, no. Drafted by the Bills. That's it. We were talking about a mock draft, and I was like, why not draft an edge rusher to the Bills and then have him sit behind Von Miller that got injured? Whatever. Yeah. Anyways, continue.
And then Frank Clark just got signed as well to the Broncos.
Which, by the way, decent signing.
It is. I think the best edge rusher probably that was on the market the entire time since free agency has started is still on the market, which is still just a little wild to me as to why he's not getting paid the money that he should. Maybe he's overvaluing himself, but at this point, you think he would even just sign a $6 or $7 million contract, and he's absolutely worth that. I'm a little baffled that he hasn't been signed yet.
Speaking of just the edge rusher market, I want to cover this just a little bit for the Bears fans out there. Brad Spielberger, which is from PFF, he's done a lot of accurate reports and everything. And he tweeted out today, "Have patience, Bears fans," which just sent Bears Twitter into an absolute spiral.
I bet, yeah.
So, my buddy asked me, "Hey, is something coming? Like, do you have any kind of insight on this? What do you think?" And I said, honestly, I think so. I think we'll see a move before training camp, honestly, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it's Trace Young. I'm hearing they're at least contenders for to get Daniel Hunter, but I doubt it. But it is Minnesota they can trade with.
I would be surprised if Daniel Hunter gets traded within
the division for sure. I said Chicago has a little over $26 million to spend before the new season starts, so that can be distributed in extensions, trades, or free agents. We should see some action soon with at least one of those things. I think Minnesota's slowly recognizing they've got to move on from Kirk soon, so they're going to want to move down in the upcoming draft in order to contend for one of the 3 or 4 great prospects coming in soon.
Yeah.
It all depends on how big of a splash Poles is willing to make, but just be warned for now. Don't get your hopes up too high and let yourself be surprised later on. I'm hearing, and this isn't my personal bias kicking in, that they're really excited about Travis Gibson this upcoming season, with him being on the other side of DeMarcus Walker. If Travis gets over 7 sacks this year, he'll be in for a decent payday when the season ends. The guy that we should be pumped about is Gervon Dexter, the rookie. So just saying. Just saying. But anyways, just for the Bears fans, hey, just stay tuned because something's coming. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and start with the Atlanta Falcons. And I mean, really, yes. I'm excited for this.
It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how much we differ on like this, because I know you're a bit. I know, at least speaking, I don't know record wise, but I think going into this, you're a bit higher on them than I am. But like, by no means do I have the Falcons having like a bad like record at all. Like, I have them being like a decent like team, but I think everyone inside of this division is going to be decent besides the Bucks, just because of the division. But
yeah, I like you said, I'm pretty high on this team as far as more than the normal fan, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for it. But let's see. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know. Let me just go through it. I already have my game by game. Do you want to just go through it, like the whole thing?
Well, I have my game by game, but let's just do like the week by week thing that we've been doing.
Yeah. So for you, week 1 at home against the Panthers, what do you think?
Yeah. So again, outside of the Bucks with the in-division games, and this goes for everyone that I've done within this division, I have them splitting everyone else just depending on who's home and who's away, just because that's how this division works out. But that being said, yeah, I'll have the Falcons winning this one just because it's home. But later on in the season, not to spoil any picks, I'll have them losing because it's away. But yes, I have them winning.
Next up, I have them winning this game as well. Yep. Next up, at home against the Packers.
Seeing this game actually made me smile because it made me think, like, what is Ryan going to do here? I have them losing against the Packers personally.
I can understand that, honestly.
Means you have them winning.
I do have them winning, and they've made some strides on defense. I think this is going to be a close game, and the Packers every year, early on in the season, lose to somebody that they probably shouldn't. That's not the Bears. They will lose against them for good reason. But yeah, the Packers they're gonna lose this game as well. They're gonna start 0-2. But with that, I mean the Falcons, it's gonna be one of those like almost a Cinderella story start where it's just like, holy crap, maybe there's something we don't know about this.
Yeah.
Staying in the NFC North. They're going to Detroit in week 3. What do you think?
They're losing into Detroit. Detroit's just a better team right now. it's easily Detroit.
I have them. I'm just kidding. Losing to Detroit. I got you. Anyway, no, that Detroit Ford Field is a tough place to play in, especially when those Lions are going crazy. I'm excited to see what we put together for the Lions schedule predictions, but for those in within the fan base of the North on either continent, stay tuned soon. But yes, so excited.
Completely off topic here, but I did have a special request by my lovely girlfriend. For those who want to listen to next week's episode or podcast, she said that she wants to do she wants to bring back a Gridiron Goose draft.
Ooh.
She says that she wants her and Caitlin to do the draft.
We might be able to work something out.
She
Caitlin
said the topic. Yeah, she said.
And you don't tell me and Caitlin ahead of time.
Yeah, she said we don't. She said she wants us to pick the topic and for us to not tell them what it is ahead of time. We just throw them in here next week.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna dive right into this next week's game, and I will see what I can work out. They're going to Jacksonville in this next game, which, by the way, a rendering for their new stadium came out.
I know,
which looks phenomenal.
It does.
But anyways, I have them losing to the Jaguars, as I should. Starting the season 2-2. But what do you think?
Yes, no, I have them losing to the Jaguars as well. So yeah, here's where, and I'm sure it'll get closer to what it is. Like we'll be close to the same record later on, but I have them going 1-3. So I'm having them win one of the first 4 games. I have them very easily losing against the Jaguars. I just think the Jaguars are a much better team than what they are right now. So I think our differences are already showing, but we'll see if it evens out.
A slight answer to the question raised about a couple minutes ago. Stay tuned. That's all I gotta say. Did you say win or loss for that one?
Loss. That's a loss for them. They started off the season 1-3, only winning their first game of their first 4.
All right. I think that we're in agreement here that they could go on a run here within these next 4 weeks.
Yes.
At home against the Texans, I have them winning that one.
Yeah. Nope. I have them. It's funny that you say that. And we'll cover them. But yeah, I do have them actually winning the next 4. So
I also have them winning the next 4. Yeah. And that would be, for those not familiar with the schedule, so that 4-game stretch is the Texans, Commanders, Buccaneers, and Titans, which means for Ben, they will start out 5-3, and for me, they're starting out 6-2. So crazy. Anyways, next week's at home against the Vikings. I have them losing this one. I don't think that they're not going to compete with Justin Jefferson, but who knows? The Vikings.
I was going to say, who knows at this point what the Vikings are going to do. Again, I'm in the same boat as you here. I have them losing this. I wonder if we have them go the same schedule down the stretch. But I have them losing this one. Like we said, with the whole Danielle Hunter thing. Yeah, it'll just be interesting what the Vikings decide to do this season. But as of right now, the Vikings have a better roster.
Absolutely. I have them. Yeah, like I said, I have them losing that one. And then next week in Arizona, I think Arizona's losing out basically. So I think I'm just going to jot a W beside that one. Next up, at home against the Saints, I have them losing. What do you think?
I have them winning. Like I said, I have them splitting, and they'll win the home one and lose the away one. So yeah, I have them winning this one against the Saints.
Okay. So I said that I have them losing that one. Next up, in New York against the Jets. What do you think?
Yeah, I have them losing this one as well.
Next up, at home against the Buccaneers.
What do you have them with the Jets, by the way?
I have them losing that one, yeah. I think that this one, even though they just went on a little bit of a run, the Saints game was going to be close, but then against the Jets, it's going to be one of those things where it's like turf monster, man. Not good. In fact, so out of the Saints, Jets, Buccaneers, Panthers, Colts, Bears, and Saints again, I only have them winning one game. So
Yeah, I'm the same. I have them losing against the Jets, winning against the Bucks, and then losing out their last four in the Panthers, Colts, Bears, and Saints, putting them at an overall record of 8-9.
So I have them losing against the Jets, losing against the Buccaneers, winning against the Panthers and Carolina, losing against the Colts, losing against the Bears, losing against the Saints, and I will also have them at an 8-9 record.
Yep.
So next up, we were planning a little surprise for everybody that was in the chat or, just kind of watching along. So let's go ahead and bring him in. What do you say?
Yes.
Matty boy, your Saints, man. Here we go.
Yo,
last
what's
year.
up? What's up?
So I'm excited to have you on, man. Welcome back to the show. We'll probably just have you on for the Saints schedule. But this is awesome. Happy to have you on, man. I'm excited for you to see mine as well, I will say.
Nice. That sounds good. It should be good.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you say that because I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, but I'd like for you to hear my approach. So as far as the in-season, or as far as in-division games that you guys have, I've literally had every single team outside of the Buccaneers. So I think the Buccaneers are going to stink. But I have every single team inside of that division literally splitting all of those games, winning the home one and losing the away one. Is that a fair approach?
I guess. I mean, we get the Panthers home game pretty early. That's like the good thing. I want to face Bryce Young as early as possible.
Yeah,
it's
fair.
not bad.
I mean, so we got.
We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off, Matt. Like I said, welcome into the stream. You're gonna start us off at home against the Titans.
Okay.
Oh yeah, at home against the Titans. What are you thinking?
Ooh, that's a tough one, right? I mean, come on. I'm gonna take the Saints. I'm gonna take the Saints there. Pretty easy 1-0 start at home. Get the dome rocking.
Yep.
Easy. Yep.
I think it's across the board. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, we're all in agreement here. We're not high on the Titans on this podcast.
No, not a big Titans cast. All right.
All right, Matt. Week 2 in Carolina. What do you think?
Like I said, we're getting Bryce Young early. I think the Saints are going to win it. Monday Night Football. The last time these two teams played on Monday Night Football, Saints won. So good omen. So I'm going to take the Saints. Maybe a little homer bias. I get where Ben's coming from, where the home team's going to win all the time, but
yeah.
I am also taking the Saints with this one as well with the 2-0 start.
yes.
Ben, what do you think?
Well, I kind of already spoiled what I think. I think they're going to lose. Again, the home team will win here in the divisional games. So outside of the Buccaneers, again, as I'm trying to put out as
They're so
much
bad.
Buccaneers slander as I possibly can. It's great. They're so
not
bad.
a big Baker Mayfield guy, huh?
No, I feel like I've made that very clear over the last 2 years. That is for sure.
Next up, week 3 in Lambeau. Matt, what do you think? Tough one to predict.
Oh my god, dude, I hate this one. I'm gonna take the Saints again. They're facing an unproven quarterback. It's the third week. I think the Packers could be a big question mark week 3, and we're avoiding the cold weather. We're a dome team, and we're playing in Lambeau in September. Love to see it.
That is a great point. I didn't even think about that. For a dome team, that's because if you guys played them in like December, that would suck.
That was a big talking head point when the schedule released by the New Orleans media.
I was looking at this game, and the number one thing that I was thinking about wasn't Jordan Love. It was the Packers defense And I think that they are unfortunately going to beat the Saints in this situation. And I think what is their first homestand, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm taking the Packers here. Ben?
I'm taking the Saints here because this will be just as it's really, really good that they get to play the Packers early in the season because they don't have to play in the cold weather. You can expect the first 4 weeks of Michael Thomas. So they have Michael Thomas right now at this point in the season. So yes, we'll give the Saints a victory here, but we'll see how long Michael Thomas can stay healthy.
I am looking forward to that connection, by the way. I saw a little glimpse of that in OTAs. It's going to be good.
Please.
Next up, at home against the Buccaneers. I think this one's a clean sweep here, boys. What do you think?
Yes.
By 30.
Yes.
Matt's having the Saints go undefeated after 4 games.
Yep.
At least.
It's like he's a Saints fan.
Optimistic, baby. We got to be optimistic.
So we're not really too big on the Patriots here this year either.
No.
I think Ben and I can be in agreement on this one at least. But Matt, what do you think?
I'm gonna take the Saints. I think Derek Carr owns Bill Belichick.
Dude, I love how it seems like you're thinking about it for a second when it's just like it's just like
I hate this because like schedule predictions, it's like, oh, well, we're the better team, so we're gonna win the game. Like, we're gonna lose 3 of these games, and we're gonna be 2-3, and I'm gonna be hating myself. So it's like, it's whatever. I can say whatever I want in June.
Clean sweep again. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right, cool.
Absolutely.
Next game is in Houston. Oh boy,
We're gonna pick this one.
It's the Saints, man.
Yes.
Come on, we're starting 6-0, 4-0 on the road.
All right.
I think I started 5-1, which is a far cry from what I thought. I was when I thought of the Saints, I don't think of them as a 5-1 team. But
Yeah,
your guys' schedule is
the Eagles
so
were not supposed to
easy.
start 10-0,
Yeah,
and they did. So I don't know.
Next up, at home against the Jaguars. Matt, what do you think?
Oh my God, this is my game. Trevor Lawrence against the Saints. We're going 40-40 shootout. I think Will Lutz kicks a game-winning field goal in the dome. Gets the dome rocking, 7-0. Saints are rolling to start the season.
I have been losing this one, Ben. I think me and you. Yeah.
As do I.
Matt. In Indianapolis.
I mean, it's another rookie quarterback. Come on. It's the Saints again. Again. The Saints just keep having the more favorable matchup. They're never going to slip up. They never shoot themselves in the foot. They're 8-0 after week 8.
I have them losing against the Colts. Ben, what do you think?
I don't know why I find this so amusing. Yeah, I have you guys losing against the Colts. I'm higher on the Colts this season.
What?
I'm higher on the Colts than what people are.
Both of you guys? Okay.
Well, I'm a Colts guy this season.
Colts
I don't know.
cast here.
I don't know why. But I'm much more than even what Ryan.
What are you
is.
talking about?
Why.
The Colts are going to lose Isaiah Rodgers for the season or whatever.
I wouldn't talk about that.
So, yeah. He gambled.
Isaiah Rodgers got in trouble for gambling. If anybody missed that.
Gambling stock down.
I can't wait to hear what Matt is going to pick here.
The Bears
at home against the Bears.
We're going with a tie.
Whoa!
A tie?
We're zigging when everyone is gonna think we're gonna zag. We're not winning this one. Listen,
but you're not losing this one?
I'm gonna give Justin Fields his props, and I think they're gonna tie 7-7. The Saints are finally gonna slip up, but they're gonna tie. So we're gonna go 8-0-1.
Bears are winning this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
In Minnesota against the Vikings, what do you think, Matt?
This is the same place where that tragedy in January of 2018 occurred.
Poor
So we're going to
guy.
strike back
Oh,
and we're going to beat the piss out of the Vikings, and we're 9-0-1 going into the bye.
So for me, the Saints were on a little bit of a 3-game stretch of
Oof.
they're gonna win this game. They're gonna win this game. Daniel Hunter's getting traded soon. They're gonna squeeze it out. Ben, what do you think?
I have them losing. This was just a matter of this was just a matter of who they were playing. The question is, do we see a Marcus Davenport revenge game?
Don't say that.
He's not gonna make it that far. Come on.
God, he's gonna have like 3 sacks.
Listen. If he has one sack in that game, he doubled his entire 2022 production. He had 0.5 sacks in 2022.
Oh,
big stuff. So next up, we're
gonna win the bye. We're gonna win the bye.
Win the bye. They're gonna be playing against the Falcons in Atlanta. Let me look back and see.
wait, in Atlanta?
In Atlanta here, yeah.
Oh, I messed this up then. Shoot.
You had them win this one, or no? You had the Falcons win this one, Ben. I also had the Falcons win this one. Matt, what do you think?
I think this is gonna be a game. I think Derek Carr is gonna hurt his finger and he's gonna leave the game. And Jameis Winston is going to come out and lead the team to a victory like he did last year to start the season. I'm going with the Saints.
Saints just taking no L's in Matt's book.
The Saints are unbeatable.
Next up. No, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, no. Like you said, I had them losing.
Next up, the Saints are going to Detroit. Matt, this one's
I
interesting.
think I'm just a Saints hater.
No, they're in Detroit, or they're in New Orleans.
Or no, they're at the Dome. Yeah, they're at the Dome.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Jared Goff returns to the Dome. Everyone's gonna boo him and throw stuff at him. And
I was so
we
confused.
remember that fateful day.
That awful Nicorobi Coleman.
So
anyways.
That guy. We don't speak of his name.
If the Bears had made it that far, just saying, neither team would have even stood a chance. But we don't.
Okay, Al, you couldn't even win the Eagles that year to Nick
Mr.
Foles.
Trubisky masterclass in the NFC Championship. Okay, back to what's important, and that's the Saints beating the Lions, the internet darling that is the Detroit Lions. Guess what? They took a running back at 12. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing in the front office or on the football field. Saints.
What idiots. Those Lions. Didn't even get featured in Madden's preview, by the way.
Yeah.
What losers.
Oh, they didn't? Yeah.
The only NFC North team that didn't get featured in Madden's preview.
That's
what
sad.
A bunch of scrubs.
Well, they don't have a star. They don't have a
star.
They need a
because
star.
they're trash.
Amon-Ra St.
They're
Brown,
star
dude.
gambles. They're star gambles. Gambling.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Boom.
Gambling. Boom.
Down on gambling.
I have them losing against the Lions. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I have them losing too, which made me I looked at it. I have you guys on a 6-game lose streak.
I'm gonna make this
a Saints hater, I guess.
I'm gonna make this as easy as possible going forward. I have the Saints winning out from this point forward.
They're gonna get
Panthers,
hot.
Giants,
For the playoffs.
Panthers, Giants, Rams, Bucks, Falcons, Saints finishing 11-6.
Yeah.
Me too. I have them winning the rest of the way as well, which is funny because I have them losing 6 and then winning 6, putting you guys at a total of 10-7.
Not bad.
Win, I don't care. Okay. Back to week 14. Against the Panthers. Bryce Young is short. The Saints are winning.
Great analysis.
Awesome. A+.
Giants. Daniel Jones. He can't throw the ball over 10 yards. Saints. Okay.
He can't even score a wide open touchdown. When
He can't. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He gets tripped. Trips
Thought he
himself.
went to Duke. Wasn't Duke smart school?
Exactly.
And then I think the Saints are gonna rest their starters against the Rams, and then we can flex.
That's so odd.
game.
Why just the Rams? Like,
why just the Rams? Because the Rams are no threat. The Rams are no threat. So we're gonna lose to the Rams. We're gonna lose to the Rams. We rested our starters, so nothing's wrong. Okay, we didn't show our hand, and then we're gonna beat the Bucs in Tampa for revenge of last year when my soul died. And then we're going to beat the Falcons. So
15-1-1.
15-1-1. We're going to go, and that loss didn't even count. We rested our starters. It doesn't matter. So,
Imagine what Sean Payton's thinking now. He joins the Broncos with washed-up Russell Wilson, can't win with the roster, and all of a sudden his team's going 15-1-1 because they tied against the Chicago Bears. Unbelievable. Anyways, Matt, thanks for coming on, man. Any closing statements?
I don't think the Saints are going to go 15-1-1. If I had to be realistic, they're probably like 10-7. 9-8.
Realistically, I think they're 15-1-1. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. They have to see. I just laid out the potential for 15-1-1, but
That's it.
I think I've had the same statement since we got Derek Carr. Is just get into the NFC, just get in the playoffs and see what happens. Like, you guys both agree that they can get hot at the end of the year. The schedule favors it. They can get hot at the right time. Who knows? Just go on a run. That's all I want.
The schedule favors you guys getting hot anytime this season. Your guys' schedule is wild.
I just explained 15-1-1, and I could get you through every game. Like, that's the funny part about this. Like, there's no game that I'm like, shiver me timbers, about.
It's the Chicago Bears game, duh.
That's gonna be the slip-up game.
Yep.
So that's gonna be
timbers, he said.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Matt, we will see you.
I'm happy to come
episode.
on, talk Saints.
Always. Well,
realistic.
We'll have to get it all ironed out and stuff, but I might need you here in a week or so.
All right.
But we'll get there.
Give me a call. The dial.
Yes, sir.
Man. All right. Well, 15-1-1 for the Saints. Matt, I love how you put Saints fan underneath your name.
I'm a Saints fan.
All right, man.
Not busworthy, just Saints fan.
Saints
Unbelievable. Fan. Okay, Matt. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Love you guys. See ya. Have a good podcast.
So,
that might have made my week. I had much fun doing that. Much fun.
So we're gonna talk about Madden now. Madden ratings debate. We talked about personally, the 99 club. Who can be 99 overall in this game? And honestly, I think there's only 4 answers here. I think there's literally. I mean, we talked about it, but like, it's gotta be these 4, in my opinion.
Well, I'm wondering if we'll agree on the last one.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
I know for a fact that there's 2. Yeah. I know for a fact that there's 2 that we 100% agree on. Then my last 2. So just out of the way, we both agree that Mahomes and Justin Jefferson are 99s.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say okay. So Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, who had a phenomenal season this past season, and Nick Bosa, the reigning defensive player of the year.
Okay, so I have Nick Bosa as well. So we agree on.
We're 3 for 4. Okay.
We're 3 for 4. I almost had Nick Bosa or Tyreek Hill in there as well, but I don't think there's but like going into a season, I don't think there's ever been a time where there's been 2 99 receivers. So that's the only reason I didn't do it. Yeah. But I really almost did. And there's like a lot of players where I'm like, this dude should be 99. This dude should be 99.
Like dude, I almost slapped Myles Garrett in there just because.
I know. Well, I almost did TJ Watt in there.
Yeah.
Just because like in the history of like Madden, there's not like 10 guys in the night. There's only been like 4 or 5 guys at a time. So there's like a lot of guys that like really wanted to put in the 99 club.
Yeah.
But my last one is an offensive tackle who I've been like the leader of the train for the last like 3 years. It's Lane Johnson. The fact that like Trent Williams has been on there and Lane has not is just asinine. The dude hasn't let up the stacks in like 2.5 years and had like a pulled adductor muscle where he just absolutely spanked Nick Bosa. Mind you, the dude that's also 99 on both of our lists. Dude had torn abductor muscle and still shut him down in the playoffs. So I have a sweet spot for Lane Johnson. I think he's the best offensive lineman in all of football. And it's crazy to say because I own a Jason Kelce jersey. It's besides the point.
So the next, I guess, discussion, because it's not going to be an argument. I feel like it's just discussion. So what would we rate the 2021 quarterback class? Like I said before, this is interesting just because, of the controversy surrounding a couple of them, or 3 or 4 or 2.
I think the order within they're gonna fall are going to be the same.
It's obvious.
Maybe besides the last 2.
Yeah.
Because those 2 are just like weird situations, but the top 3 are definitely like it's this player, this player, this player.
Yeah.
With that being said, obviously we're talking about Trevor Lawrence, then Justin Jefferson or Justin Fields, and then Mac Jones. I don't remember what I said within our text conversation, but I have Trevor Lawrence starting the season at an 86.
That's fair. I was actually going to put him that same exact rating. I'm like going through these and I'm like, oh, Zach Wilson, you poor soul. Anyways, all right. Yeah, I'm also going to have Trevor Lawrence at 86. But for Fields, what are you thinking?
This is where it gets tough because this is a conversation that I know I've had with you, like recently in the past 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Because I went back through and we can have it here. It's a football podcast, so I feel comfortable having this conversation. Justin Fields throwing is holding him back, but it's so tough because there's absolutely an avenue for him to be very, very good at that. And I went back through, and again, this is something that you have heard because I spent 4 minutes talking about it. But just for our listeners, I went back through and I looked at his best statistical passing game and his worst statistical passing game. I think that was the best was against Miami and the worst was against the Lions. And the number one thing more than anything that stood out to me was his cadence within his drop back and within his short passing game, great at it because he can do the 1, 2, 3, bam, hit, fire. But the issue then is on his deep passes, he's not hitting it back when his back foot drops. He's not getting rid of it. And he's doing his cadence and his step back so much slower. And I think that it's because of his I don't want to say inability, but his inexperience when it comes to reading a defense post snap. And I think as soon as he can start and I think this just comes with playing, the more he plays the game and the more he can store stuff within his memory bank. And then he can start diagnosing what the defense is, whether it's man or man zone with 2 single high or so on and so forth. Once he can start diagnosing that, and then he can go back to what he's doing in the short passing game with the hit your 5-step drop back, and as soon as that back foot lands, rip it, which I think he did it twice in that Miami game where he did it very, very well.
Yeah.
So it's tough. That all being said, his throwing is not there yet. But it absolutely can be there, which makes me really excited for you because, bless you, as a Bears fan, it just makes me very excited for you. That all being said, the passing game isn't there, so I have him at a 79. Very long spiel to get there. I think he's very close to the 80, but I can't have him break the 80 mark without showing his passing game yet. But I think by the end of the season, he'll probably be an 83 or 84.
I think that I have him at an 80 exactly. with like a speed of like 96. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be so much fun to play with.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be awesome. But like you said, throwing isn't exactly there. I think he's gonna be like mid 70s with throwing accuracy, stuff like that. I will say, judging off of the offseason and stuff like that, I've heard very good reports out of OTAs. Him and DJ Moore, their chemistry has been outstanding. And I've also, now I know you're going to be like, I don't know. I've heard a lot of positive things about Chase Claypool and Justin Fields and their chemistry, and also where Chase Claypool is in the offense is a lot better of a place than they were in the second half of the season. So just stay tuned for that connection as well. I'm excited. But yeah, I have Fields at an 80, and I think that like his ceiling for the season is going to be like an 85, and I'm excited for that. I think that's going to be good. Okay, I'm just gonna save us a little bit of time. Just go over the next three, just because I don't feel like dwindling on this too much. 78 for Mac Jones for me, I think is too generous, but fair. 75 for Trey Lance because it's like a I don't know kind of rating, Yeah. And then Zach Wilson as a backup. Congratulations, buddy. You earned a 71 overall.
Okay, yeah, no, Mac Jones, I have the 2 points behind Justin. Then I'd put him at a 77 in my book. And then I think Lance has better traits than Wilson, so I do think he's going to have the better score. So, yeah, I could see – I'm going to say like a 74 and 73 for Lance and Zach Wilson.
Okay.
But, it's going to be 74 and 73. They're not very good. Trey Lance, maybe, because we still haven't seen anything from him. But at this point, poor Zach Wilson. But, like, he's looked good in camp, which is, like, really odd and strange, which I don't like. Yeah. Maybe he is coming for Aaron Rodgers' job.
Who knows?
But, yes, I have him, 74, 73 to round out my Madden.
It's time for America's favorite game, Weddle.
Here we go, baby. It's 23 to 14. Who knows? Okay, we'll see if I can pull another one out.
Yeah, our record over the last 6 weeks have been rough. So
yeah. All right. So I'll go second with all the rounds. So I'm assuming AJ Brown for both.
Yep.
All right. So 25. He's a lot younger than I thought. Shorter than 6'1".
So probably running back in the NFC. A young running back in the NFC, which could be a lot. But
I'm gonna say Clyde. SEEH.
5'7". He's shorter than I thought.
5'7", running back, 25 in the AFC.
The numbers don't add up, but we'll go with Dalvin Cook's younger brother.
James Cook. All right. I have an idea. Is he short?
Oh, he's 25. Why am I... Oh. Okay. Well, we now know he has to be in the AFC South, which... Oh, Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor's 24.
Yeah, and he's
how old is Damian
Pierce? I know who it is.
Who is it? It's easy, man.
I think it's Travis Etienne. What?
I don't think it's him, but
Damian Pierce. It's not Damian Pierce.
But it's a Houston running back. One more guess.
What?
Who's Houston's running back? Oh my gosh. Are we really stumped on easy mode?
It's not Philip Lindsay. I don't. What? It's not. No, I know it's not.
Okay.
Danny Woodhead was the other guy there.
There's no way he's
obviously
25.
Not Danny Woodhead.
Yeah. You're talking Rex Burkhead.
It's that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Danny
But it's
Woodhead.
not. They were both Patriots guys, and this besides the point.
I'm
I'm
blanking.
gonna look this up, and I'm gonna tell you if you should know, because this is just sad.
Easy mode's been weird lately. Oh,
Oh, he was signed there in the offseason. He is
this
former
free
Bills. He's a former.
Devin
He played for the
Singletary?
Bills. Yeah.
They threw a little hard twist in there.
I
Okay.
didn't even realize that he signed there.
All right, so it's an NFC East player.
Oh, that's going to be helpful,
25.
won't it? The height doesn't match up.
Hold on.
Odigizua.
What?
Odigizua.
Oh, I was gonna use AJ Brown as your guess.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But now that you said that,
no,
how do you?
that's me. That's on me. You do your guess unless you thought
Well,
it was
you already said the name. I'm just gonna take the next two guesses. How about that?
Well, you do yours, and then I'll do Odigizua afterwards, because I highly doubt you were going to guess Odigizua.
This is who you're talking about?
Yes, that's who I'm talking about.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna take the next two.
No. If you want Odigizua, you can take him, but I'm not giving you the next two.
Okay.
Go ahead and plug in a whatever, even though it can't be him.
What the heck? Oh, it's a D tackle. Okay.
I know who it is. It could be between two people.
Okay. He's not a tackle. What am I thinking?
Maybe I don't know who it is. I was gonna guess it was John. I was gonna guess Jonathan Allen. Dexter Lawrence, or not? No. Yes. Yeah. Sure.
That's what I was gonna do too. Gosh dang it!
I don't know what
was gonna be my
Weddle
next
has been
pick.
doing with how easy. Like, I struggled more with Motor Singletary than I did with freaking Dalvin Cook or Dalvin Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence. I'm tired now. What is Dexter Lawrence doing as the hard mode? He's a top 10 defensive tackle in the NFL, and they're like, let's throw him in hard. I just think they're getting pushback from like having like the fourth string kicker from the Argonauts from the Canadian Football League. Like, I just think they've had so much like pushback from like being so.
This guy's a fourth string defensive tackle from Missouri State Science and Industry.
Exactly. So I think that's why they've had like such far pushback in the other way. But Weddle producers, I don't know why you'd be listening, but if you are, make hard mode harder. I don't know what is going on right now, but
let's see. Matt Hartman says good guesses. All right, well, listen, I have a deluxe album I gotta go listen to. So
yes, you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the Pigskin Project this week. Next week we have hopefully a lot more news. Hopefully Daniel Hunter's traded by then. So stay tuned. Hopefully a bunch of Madden stuff. We're gonna pick a division. We'll announce it on Twitter. So follow us on that. We have our socials above our heads, like we mentioned before. And then I just want to say thank you for listening all the way through if you did. Thank you to Overtime Sports Network, Regional Radio Sports Network, Uppercuts Grooming, and Spotify for Podcasters for helping us branch out our podcast. If you liked it, leave a review. Help us more than you know. And we will see you guys next week.